Oh man, translating that properly really took the wind out of me. I don't know if I can keep this up.
You have to!
back to work.
You must!
But I haven't slept in 10 days.
I haven't. Hey! I heard of some man named Akira Hino. He hadn't slept for like 2 weeks. You don't hear him complaining, do you?
Hey,
Man, who's this guy? Me and him need to hang out, clearly.
Not right now. You got work to do.
listen. Hey, look. Listen, pleb. There's this man called Masahiro Sakurai. Do you hear about the work he has done and that he still manages to look as young as he does? When are you gonna be able to do work like him?
Is the fact that somebody else is also suffering supposed to make me feel better about my suffering?
No, but it's supposed to show you that it's a hard knock life for all of you.
Okay, Annie.
As long as you don't keep making those weird remarks like the one of Citan, we should be fine, Mr. Honeywood.
Mr. Mark Honeywood?
Yes.
Not for nothing, but this is literally only day 5 of the localization process. Are you really that tired out already?
Has it been only 5 days?
Yeah, you barely scratched the surface of a script. You still have this huge manuscript out here to deal with, sir.
Sleeping in the office for anything for that kind of isolation can really make someone go mad like that.
I honestly do have to. I can imagine him dealing with like this.
That thing where he starts scratching the walls. The days seem to be turning into months.
And it will be years if you don't get back to it.
Alright, for the time being, we need to do what Citan actually told us and just, get the fuck to sleep on the communal room.
How wonderful.
Let's speak tomorrow.
Wonderful.
Ready?
But I just got coffee. I can't go to sleep.
Did you forget anything? Okay, sleep well.
Okay. I'm so very tired.
Don't fall asleep standing up.
Alright, we're gonna have our introduction to a particular team that is about to literally drill a camera inside the hideout.
Who could be so heinous as to attack the pirates' hideout, though?
No, so rude.
See what happens. Oh, sorry.
Nothing to report for the time being. Alright, first of all, these dweebs.
Confirmed. It's their base, alright.
That is you, Pedro.
That rock was easy to break through.
That does look like Pedro.
I thought it would be a little harder. No, I don't have.
The surface-dwelling lambs sure live in a nice place. Duh. That is you, Drover.
Well, look at that. They built this place far better than the facilities at
That's an
Bloodwork.
explosion of red and orange.
It's probably a hidden fort built when their old king was still around.
And last but not least, Shiroi as this very pretty boy.
Who cares? Let's just get this over and done with.
From which Sailor Moon season did you crawl out from?
I have no idea.
It was probably a
So,
filler arc.
where are the gears?
Oh, I gotcha. So he's one of the Silver Stars.
That's
makes
it.
Yay! The Sailor Stars! Everyone's favorite. Okay, look, to be fair to the Sailor Stars, they were an interesting idea, just not the best execution from what I understand.
There's literally nothing there, Trotsky. Pedro?
Oh, sorry, to the right. That's just the anger. No, that's the thing. Okay.
Exclamation marks.
That's the thing.
Don't worry, guys. There's gonna be fighting later for talking.
Sure.
Found them.
Wonderful.
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 These are Deermots?
Deermots,
They're standard pirate gears.
We want the big fish.
Ignore those. We can take them out fast.
Confident, are we?
Yeah, Vancy has a lot of vanity, as you can imagine. That smug is not there for a reason. Is there for a reason. Why not take a few? Even if you only get those, it was worth sneaking in.
All right. Schpariel is now in the
Schpariel.
place at the back.
Again, lots of German names.
Get ready to take out anything that comes in our way.
Complete.
Okay, over here.
Any time is fine.
Go!
Go!
So I'm guessing Rank is the leader.
I forgot which specific one of them is the commander. They do have a proper leader they answer to, but otherwise, I think it's either Vance or Rank that actually piles them in absence.
What was that crash?
Gears have entered Yggdrasil's dock. 5 Gebler special force gears and 1 single unidentified large gear. All pilots report to the gear hangar.
I was just about to fall asleep, for fuck's sake.
You and me both, eh?
Citan, what are you up to?
Actually, it was Richard's.
Yeah. Richard is all like, oh man, I can so relate to that right now.
It sounded
Let me
similar
just
to your
state it,
Citan voice.
you're trying to sleep, and a bunch of military people bust into the building you were trying to, have a rest. Also, get ready to hear this alarm for quite a long time, actually. Because, again, doing all the attack.
All non-combatants, go to Yggdrasil immediately!
Yeah, let's try to think of the children. Anytime, Faye. I think this is you, Pedro.
Hey! Oh yeah, Faye, quick! Get to Veltal now!
Get in the fucking gear, Faye!
Faye!
I want to go in.
Bart and the others are already fighting. Come on, Faye. Aren't you going to do anything? Do you still think it has nothing to do with you?
I mean,
Well,
it's
okay,
literally
technically-
blowing up all around you.
Oh, no.
Well, technically,
Technically,
Well,
it does have something to
hi,
do with...
Faye!
Technically,
Doc sadly doesn't have that much time to waste.
that's the thing, Pedro. It
time to
technically
waste.
does have something to do with him, given that it's literally blowing up around him.
What am I? That old man called me the Slayer of God.
Faye, this is not the time.
Get the name of God.
I don't want that kind of power.
Drink the heathen's blood.
My strength, my home.
And he dies because...
No,
He
he's
likes
gonna
to-
still need a bit of time to think. For the time being, we reprise the action with Bart having to guide 2 Dieter Bull soldiers against the first major threat.
How many gears are there? I think I took out most of the small fry, but...
Looks like he's frosting his crotch.
There's this far, maybe 5 rounds left. Their performance and technique is far greater than any of the ones we played before.
Oh, let me guess. They start off being friendly, but over the time of the game, they eventually just become the goons that we have to deal with.
Basically.
The master, they're approaching!
Okay, I honestly don't remember which of the Gebler goons actually piled which specific gear. This one is the Sword Knight. As you can imagine, it has basically this kind of tentacle drill that gets solidified into actual swords that get used. Most of these Gebler goons are basically taken on their own. They're really charms. They are easy to deal with. Later on in the game, they try to spice things up a bit by letting, having you fight all of them in a row, with one single fighter, or having mixing them up in particular combination to be a bit more nasty,
Uh-huh.
Anyway, you were saying, Pedro?
And that's the thing, Jova. On the original 90s anime, the Silver Stars are by far the girliest looking men in that anime, and that's saying something.
So they're twins.
So I can only imagine, and considering how absolutely, again, traditionally girly in body shape, but then already looking Crystal. Seriously, compare how Mamoru looks in both animes.
Don't they end up becoming girls too when they transform?
That's my point, Jova.
Oh,
I can
no,
only.
dude.
How does it work?
Pardon? Yes, it works, but...
Oh, what a
Alright.
shock!
I said but! Out of the question, it's still under maintenance. It's nowhere near operational.
It's alright, Mason.
No, it bloody isn't. Master Sigurd will pretend like the good doctor.
It's fine. He'll be okay.
Okay, Sigurd, what are you hiding?
May'll even be enough for him. Yeah, when the text box is, you have to reference on which the character is upon the text box.
Well, it has been 5 years since I last fought. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. I hope I can still remember.
Looks like the good doctor really does have a hidden checkered past.
And I have to be honest, in contrast to his on-foot performance, Heimdall is not the most optimal of the gears.
I guess it's to even
Well then,
out.
it is high time someone broke you in.
Brilliant.
Reinforcements?
Shield Knight, is that you?
Yes, it's a shield knight, actually.
Hey, that hurts.
Compared to the pain my friends are going through, yours is nothing.
I don't give a shit about your friends.
I cannot allow people like you to persist in tormenting those who cannot fight back. I will take you on in their place. Come on!
That's such a Kamen Rider line.
What
Yes.
are you talking about?
But yeah,
Again, it's perfect. Heimdall is perfectly functional, but doesn't have that much of power. Again, it feels more of a disappointment compared to how Citan performs on field. Go on, Pedro.
that's just the thing, Jove. That's exactly it. Considering how they are in the 90s anime, I can only imagine how Crystal is gonna make them look like. Like seriously, Mamoru himself already looks more feminine than as feminine as the girls does. So I can only imagine how the stars are gonna look in Crystal.
I
Is
wonder,
Crystal-
have you?
Are they canon?
Yes. Yes, they're
Huh, I
canon.
thought they were
Is-
filler
is-
characters.
Is
They
Crystal
are canon.
still going, actually?
The stars is from Naoko's original manga anyway. So yeah, it is part. It's a season that most people don't really care for because it's crap.
Also, have you ever
just
gotten
saying.
to the know that some people think that the stars were supposed to be a representation for the trans community or something, like boys literally
Probably. I
becoming
wouldn't-
girls here and there?
No, it's doing that kind of stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the intention.
Alright.
I know I am a little rusty. There is a limit to what I can learn, seeing as I started so late in life. Even so, I hit that guy hard and he did not go down. They must be using that stuff.
Oh
Well,
no,
that
not
is-
the
we'll have to learn
spice!
later.
Young one, they are using hashtag
Drive.
drive hashtag. They are battle enhancement drugs. Normal attacks will not hurt them.
They
Battle
are using
enhancement drugs.
cocaine.
Wait,
Yes,
how does using drugs make a mech not hurt, though?
it's the same principle of mech animes like Evangelion. Like the actual damage on the gear gets reflected onto the pilot.
It's okay. We'll get by without him.
I do drugs, so I can pilot more gears. So I can do more drugs, so I can
Alright,
pilot more gears.
next fight is, there you go, both Citan and Bart against the two knights with rifles. Essentially, what you need to watch out for is a particular attack that they had, because it is the start of introducing of ether damage, which can perform, can actually, bypass your gear's armor, if you so you have to watch out for an attack like that. Later on, you will get armors that also boost up the resistance towards ether attacks. So again, the game will have a way to balance things out.
Tia,
Yes?
you sure you didn't mean to put that little warning at the end, at the beginning of the last part, at the beginning of this part?
No, don't worry, Libs. I know what I'm doing. Hopefully.
I mean, that was
I'm glad that you had that disclaimer.
There we go.
Aye.
Again, if you have leveled up Citan fine enough, his gear will also have already a couple of combos at the ready, so it's just a matter that it's not really that impressive, and most of these ether powers are not really as useful as they are on the ground.
I do have to say, it is a very unique concept to have an RPG where you control a giant mech.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not as
Like,
uncommon
are there
as
any
you might
RPGs
think.
that do this?
There
There
are,
was,
yes,
there are quite a few.
there was one online. Oh, here we go. Vance now is sorry, Shiri, that bit was automated. Vance now has the nastiest of it, the Claw Knight, and now he wants to threaten the children.
Oh, but someone's knocked him on his side.
Okay.
Why are you fighting?
It's my job.
That's Shiri.
You? What are you doing?
Yeah,
Thanks, Deji.
you can take over. Sorry.
Wait, what?
No, it's fine.
That close up. What does fighting get you?
Power!
What if this was your home?
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, he
Okay,
would get
great.
along with Mega Man X.
But yes.
I mean, he's just as whiny as Mega Man X.
I wouldn't say okay, X isn't. But it's like considering the crap he goes through.
X7.
That dude.
X7 is just a poorly written game.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
dudes,
but he's whiny in that, isn't he?
dudes, I do hope that you have the common sense to not judge the entirety of his character off of the god awful Mega Man X7. Like,
That's
yes.
the thing, Jeffrey. He's like that in all the games. Even in X8, he still does it.
No, I'm sorry, dudes. He is not nearly as
Anyway.
bad as he is in X7 anywhere else. What happens in X7, except for Axel, stays in X7.
We'll talk later. We got big trouble coming down on us now. And yes, this is the boss fight. Schpariel, actually. This thing is manageable, but you need to it's basically kind of like a DPS check, in a sense that this bot hits like a truck, potentially with his lightning attacks. So you need to just focus on attack, especially because, again, like I said, you don't have a way of recovering HP right now, so your best strategy is literally just pummeling it down as hard as you can. Again, of course, you can still strategize by using the combos, but again, since early on, you know, you don't have any other means. The other thing that you need to do is to try abuse Wild Smile or from Bart. It's not as effective as it was on Calamity, but it can, you know, smooth things out a bit. Otherwise, just keep pummeling down with both Citan and Faye.
Basically, Dej. Back in the day, way before Megaton Musashi, Love actually did make a more kid-friendly version of that called Little Battlers Experience. There was a 3DS game on it. So yeah, there have been RPGs that have done that. Aside from that, yeah, like Teo said, White Knight Chronicles did that as well.
Damon X
Well, I can tell you also something that I don't think the others know. Back in the early years of the internet, there was this online. Well, I think they're still present. There was this online RPG called Dragon Fable, I think, that was part of this bigger kind of thing called Adventure Quest. And later on, they had a futuristic version of it called Mech Quest, which did involve you also fighting with mechs. I did play it a lot actually back in those early years. It was pretty cool. I think it's still around, but I did, stopped doing that because I did not have much time for it. I did use Flash, so I don't know if it actually survived the actual purging after Flash, went out. I don't know.
As you can see, Schpariel can become a drill.
Yeah,
too.
okay. Since I don't remember, let me see what the term actually does mean. I know that it actually has a meaning in German, but let's see.
It means, fuck you, I've got a mech.
Well, it could be. Yeah, also I start showcasing the boosting. Essentially, what your character does is to consume more fuel per turn, but in turn, their speed is actually doubled. As a result, you hit faster, which is also recommended for this boss fight. Again, your strategy here is to pummel down, so if you can do it faster, you don't really have to care about conserving fuel.
All right.
Also, another neat detail, I think it happens also on the ground, but every time Citan hits someone, there are kanjis representing the actual martial arts that he's performing. This will become apparent also later with some of his other special attacks.
And that bar on the left, that's the enemies, right?
No, that's your fuel gauge. It changes for each character, as you can see. There you go, for
So
example.
what happens when you run out?
You have to actually recharge, otherwise you cannot do jack shit. Thankfully, later on you can buy, parts, gear parts. There you go, we're done. You can buy gear parts that actually allow you to restore more fuel with one charge. Alright, hopefully this will be enough to discourage them. Yes. Alright.
Thanks, Faye.
Justice! Art. Thank you, Faye. Don't know how we could have done it without you. I still don't know what I should do. Faye. What Bart's doing isn't for his own gain. He walks the path he believes in, one step at a time.
Na 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 na.
Wishing only for the happiness of those around him. I, on the other hand, a lot. I thought I didn't have a path that I could have take laid out before me. But like he said, that's just running away. I must find my own path, right, Doc? Bart wishes I'll cooperate with you guys. That's all I can do now.
It wouldn't be a fun game if you
But
didn't.
I think I'll find a path I should follow as I help others like you. Moreover, I can't turn my back and ignore what such a terrible group of people are doing to others.
He's found a new purpose in life.
Thanks, Faye. Hooray! So, the order of the day is to... Hold on.
We must infiltrate
Yeah.
Arbe and rescue Margie now. Gebler has discovered this base, so we should leave a small garrison and evacuate while we still can. Fortunately, the Idrixil is undamaged, so we're able to embark immediately. The crew's preparations are complete. Whenever you are ready, Master Faye and the good doctor, please accompany the young master to the bridge.
Alright.
Dr. Uzuki, Master Faye, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would truly appreciate it if you stop driving your car in the background. He's the kind of sustainment must help us in our rescue mission.
Joel?
Hey, alright. Just let me say goodbye first.
So yeah, now you have for the first, a free party, a party team.
And of
So-
course, it's so handy that we happen to have a vehicle that can help us get through the desert well.
Yes, otherwise you will not be able to, walk too normally. But before we end the part, if I recall correctly, I'm gonna showcase something that I couldn't because of the circumstances that allow him. A couple of the other special attacks, including Bart's, since we haven't seen them yet. But first, I'm actually just, changing a bit of the equipment. Yeah, that's also another thing that I forgot to mention. That's good. One thing that you can buy in this shop is an item called the Tank Guard, which, if equipped with gear, prevents any leakage of fuel, because there are some enemies that have a special move that drains away part of your fuel, like the sandworm in one of the other parts. These are crucial for one of the final boss fights, and they get stopped being sold in shops relatively early on. So stock 3 of them as soon as you can, and you will not regret them.
Of course.
Alright, like I said, as soon as you get a certain level, you get like a 5 number, count, which means that you can now start mixing up like a square and an X kind of attack.
It is interesting how some of these attacks are actually voiced. I'll give them credit.
Yeah, that's also a good thing to mention. Despite being an English dub, it's not for everyone. Not all the characters are gonna have an English voice, but in battle, all the characters grunt with their Japanese voices. You know, basically for Japan, they had voice characters for all of the characters, for performing grunts or saying like a special attack kind of move, you know. But for the English stuff, they kept to a minimum just for either the FMVs, where the characters are voiced, or if there's like a special line like in game. Sometimes there's gonna be literally an example in a couple of parts of Bart saying jerk, you know. So that's gonna be that, and not all characters have actual voice lines in the FMVs. So sorry about that.
They definitely were cutting them costs with that localization, weren't they?
That being said, the voice acting is kind of interesting. I will mention something to Dej off screen, but let me tell you some example. Not all of them, because there's a voice actor, but I want to keep a surprise until the very last part.
Clancy Brown, totally.
But there you go. Bart is voiced by Dave Fouquet, which I think this was actually one of the early roles of his career. And there you go. Yes, it was actually like the fourth role that he had. He's mostly voiced the video game stuff. Apparently, it was mostly minor NPCs and stuff like Digital Cerberus, Resistance 2, Infamous, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and he's still getting work to this very day. So that's pretty neat, actually. Citan instead is voiced by Milton James, which I also think has a similar case where this was like the first, one of the first things that he did. Actually, no, he started voicing TV stuff since the end of the 70s. But the last thing that he did was voicing a couple of minor characters for the Cars 3 video game in 2017. Anahim, that we heard earlier, is voiced by Maura Quirk, which is still getting work to this day, but she's mostly like a TV actress. She doesn't do movies. In fact, this was like the third role in her career. She probably was in one episode of A. Arnold. Interesting. But let's get to the meat and the very meat. Faye in this game is actually voiced by Brian Tocci, which is mostly a TV and movie actor, particularly movie, because apparently he was the guy who voiced Leonardo in the old live-action TMNT movies. Interesting. And the last thing that he has done so far is an episode in the TV series The Bay in 2014. So we'll have to see if the future has something else to hold. Anyway, in the next part, we start planning the rescue of Margin from Bledavik, which gets us introduced to two more villains, particularly Shakan, the current leader of Ave, and a couple other people from the Gebler forces. So see you for that.
See ya.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.